channel was 10 years in the making. We logged the last 10 years of our lives on the sand. The sharks we've caught, the fish we've seen, the fish we had to learn to catch sharks we caught, the rare occurrences, the anomalies, the drunken parties. We've got the logs, we've got the video footage. We did this for 10 damn years so that you can go out tomorrow and do the same. But this isn't going to work like your ordinary fishing report. I am not going to be telling you what we caught last week. I'm more interested in what me and you are going to go out and catch next month together. I'm going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to tell you what you need to do it. And the best part of all is it's still going to cater to the people who are simply here to see crazy shit, which is like 95% of y'all. But hopefully this changes some of that. Because my real aspiration for this channel is more people becoming competent in doing what we do. Because the faster that happens, the quicker our efforts for conservation are going to go. And if you haven't realized, there's a little CGI screen up in the corner. It's going to play a real big role in this sub-channel. I'm going to throw up other fishermen up there. I'm going to show you my clips from previous trips. I'm going to show you my logs. So if you're ready, let's dive into the first month. It's going to be the month of March. Let's go. Sandbar sharks. Sandbar sharks are one of the best sharks for somebody who just got into shark fishing. Because they'll take a small bait, they'll come close to shore. You don't even have to own a kayak to catch one of these sharks. I've caught just as many sandbar sharks on spinning tackle like this, casting out into the second gut, as I have hopping in my kayak and taking a bait real far out there on one of my conventional reels. But chances are, if you don't do shark fishing already, or you don't do deep sea fishing, or you don't got deep pockets, chances are you don't own a conventional reel. This is a conventional reel. This is an Avid 130. It's one of the big boys. It's overkill, it's expensive, you do not need them for sandbar sharks. The only reason you see me using them in a lot of my videos is because I place extra concern on the survival of the shark. You know, and using one of these reels and winching them to shore affords me those extra couple of seconds it takes to get a tag in the shark or take a DNA sample, and overall makes for better footage because the shark's more lively on the release. But I should point out, you don't want any shark to die. But specifically for legal reasons, you do not want a sandbar shark to die. They're a protected species. But if you're ready to catch one, I'm going to be telling you up next what we're going to be using for bait, so stay tuned.
And the fire bait for today is some sheephead.
Number one bait to use sandbar sharks is sheepshead, freshly caught sheepshead. You're not going to find this at the bait shop. You're going to go out, you're going to catch it. The only good thing though is sheepshead are easy fish to catch this time of year. You're going to roll up at the jetties with some live shrimp, a popping cork. You're going to cast it right near the rocks and you'll be in business. Just make sure any sheephead you do keep are within the regulatory size limit. Once you have your sheephead, you're going to head down to the surf. You're going to section it off into small sections, which is perfect because if you went to the jetties and you only got one sheephead, that's all you need to start shark fishing. But if you didn't have time to hit the jetties for some sheephead, you could always stop at a bait shop, get yourself a stingray and do the same thing, section it off into small portions. But if you show up to the beach and you don't have stingray and you don't got sheephead, there's a third option. And it's an excellent bait, but you're going to have to either show up with some shrimp, some crab, some fish bites, or even a cast net to catch some mullets. Because you're going to try to get yourself on a black drum. Now the only thing with black drum is I like to use a little bit of bigger pieces of black drum than I would sheephead. Just make sure any black drum you do use is also within the regulatory size limit. We're calling up my boy, the 8 Mile Killer, to get his input on his favorite baits to use for sandbar sharks.
Alright, so what would you do if I tell you I want to kiss you right now? Alright, hold up. My brother Paul Andrew Odabashian is calling right now. Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey bro, what are you doing?
Nothing, I'm just here with my girl.
Are you with the girl or are you barbecuing?
Nah, I'm here with my girl, man. What's up? You know?
Are you sure? Because it sure sounds like you're barbecuing. But anyways, whatever. I want you to tell our friends from 7C what your favorite bait for sandbar sharks is.
Small pieces, sheephead, big chunks of black drum, small pieces of southern break.
Alright guys, so to recap, it was small pieces of sheephead, larger chunks of black drum, and pieces of southern ray. But anyways, thanks for nothing, man, and thanks for not inviting me to the barbecue, but whatever. Alright, so the main take home today is that fishing is a cycle. It repeats every year, so the point of me showing you these logs is to help pinpoint exactly what you might see at any specific point in time. Now this cycle may vary depending on where you live. You know, I discussed sandbar sharks early on in this video, and on South Padre Island at least, we have them pretty thick until about the first week of May when they head out. But let's take a look at some of these logs. March 1st, pretty decent conditions, landed black drum in the morning, sandbars in the afternoon. March 16th, pretty decent sandbars on cast out gear in the second gut, some Atlantic sharp nose as well. March 25th, we nailed the sheephead at the jetties. That's actually the video I was showing you guys earlier when I was discussing baits. March 27th, a lot of big red drum came in thick on the channel side of the jetties, so this would be a great time to go hit up the sheepshead fishing and throw out some bigger chunks of bait for some redfish. March 28th, I want to discuss this day a little bit closer because it's a day I'll never forget. I showed up on the beach, my buddy was already catching sandbars and black tips on fillets of sheephead, and I was excited because I showed up with some sheephead. I went the night before to the jetties. It was pretty fresh out, so I didn't think I needed a cooler. You know, I caught my limit like in 30 minutes. I threw them in the back of my truck bed. I raced home, put them in the refrigerator, got up the next morning, put them on ice, headed down to the surf, and I parked 200 yards away from my friend, watched him catch fish all day long, and I could not catch a fish to save my life. So finally I got fed up. You know, I got a whiting, I filleted it, I took it out there. 5 minutes later, I had a good 6-foot sandbar shark. I bring up this story because sometimes a fresh bait will beat out the perfect bait. You know, I was discussing how sheepshead is the perfect bait to use for sandbars. But you know what? Sometimes you just catch what's there, and if it's fresher than what you got, that's what the sharks are going to pick up. Now, March 29th to March 30th was a badass trip. I could not keep a bait in the water. I was kayaking off the jetties into the channel, and it didn't matter what I dropped, what size bait, they were all getting picked up. I mean, I'm talking about I was dropping big chunks of cow nose rays, the black tips were demolishing everything, and then some people would be annoyed by that, but you know what, nothing beats the rods going off all the time. And later on that night, we did nail a good sized bull shark on actually a chunk of sheephead. Now, March 31st, we caught a big black nose shark, which isn't too common of a catch, and we also got a 38-inch bull red in the surf. Let's start wrapping this up. If you're new to the game, I hope you learned something. I'm going to make one of these videos for every month of the year, but if you have anything you want me to expand on, I might do an in-between video. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and you know what, if you catch anything this upcoming month that we discussed in this video, send it in. I'd love to see it, and I'm sure everybody from 7th Sea would love to see that you caught the same things we discussed to help reinforce what we learned here. Till next time, boys.